What's going on, Twitch and YouTube? Welcome to episode 18 of the U.S.S. CERRITOS tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And today we have about a 24-minute video. We're going to be picking up where we left off from episode 17. We're going to try to get as much done as we can today on the circular corridors on the saucer section. Now, I've talked about this a little bit in the past episodes, but we're doing this, of course, before we fill in the upper hull. And if you're not familiar with why, the main reason for that is because once we close in the saucer section, uh, it's going to make it very difficult to build out your corridors inside. So if you've already started closing your hull up top, stop right now and let's do your corridors first, because otherwise you're going to be making this process at least 50 times harder than it needs to be. We're going to start with the inner ring, the yellow inner ring, and then we're going to go over to the outer ring. But the inner yellow ring is going to be doubling not only as a cosmetic for the outside of the saucer, but also a template for where our walkways are going to go for our circular corridors. One of the things I do like to do on my builds, work smarter, not harder, and this is definitely going to be one of those cases. Excuse me, we're going to be starting in the opposite order, I should say. We're going to be doing the outer ring circle right now. So the light gray one, we're going to be switching this to blue. And once we go all the way around, we're going to be coming back and doing cyan on both sides. I think that's going to really help give a nice TNG feel to it. If you're feeling the way that my corridors are coming out in the CERRITOS, let me know in the comments section. If you think they look like crap, let me know in the comments section. I'd still love to hear from you. I worked on them for a little while. I'm pretty happy with how they came out, though. I don't think anybody would really be able to come up with something that much better. If they can, hey, awesome. Let me know what you did, and we're going to be picking back up here in just a moment. All right, here we go. I stopped just for a second on the feed, and now we're going again. Definitely really excited to be getting back into these streams in the swing of things. And if you're on my YouTube channel, please check out my Twitch stream. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Zero Elite. And if you're on my Twitch channel, please definitely check out my YouTube channel. You can follow me on youtube.com/C/Zero Elite. I definitely appreciate that. And Twitch is a great way for you to get in touch with me live while I'm building these. And you can also get a sneak peek a day early on some of my videos that are coming out. Not only that, I also do live streams that don't end up making it over to my YouTube channel. So if you're wanting to get a little bit of extra content from my channel, other than the daily videos dropping Monday through Friday, definitely check out the Twitch stream. If you're new to the channel on Twitch, my recording schedule, I always usually have videos dropping where I'm doing live videos Sundays through Thursday nights, usually between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern. Um, and then I also have videos dropping intermediately in between that on Twitch. Also, I'll hop on when I can, but that's definitely the main schedule. My main source of games I'm playing right now on Twitch is Minecraft and Starship Evo. I played through the main campaign of Cyberpunk on Twitch. Had a little bit of a couple of people subscribe here and there for that, but nothing too much. But I think at this point, my main focus on Twitch is going to be Minecraft and Starship Evo. But still, you might see me streaming some other games here and there. So, if any other games you want to see me stream, definitely let me know in the comments section. You can see we're rocking and rolling here, really getting the ball moving, trying to get this going on our circular corridors. But the nice thing about this is that we really don't have to think too much about what we're doing right now, because of the fact that we've already done the work. And what I mean by that is that this gray ring that we've essentially already prepped out in previous episodes, now we can just go back and we're going to be switching this to blue like I was saying, and then we'll add 2 more rows on each side of it. I think we're actually going to end up making it 5 wide, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Um, but essentially, the corridors and the way I do them, in a nutshell, is I just go off of the line of this blue ring that we just made right here, and or just your blue ring in general. Um, we're if a row shifts to the left or shifts to the right on the floor, you do that on your wall too. So we'll get into that in just a few moments when we start adding in uh, the layering on the walls to get a little bit of a better idea of what I mean here. So now we're jumping into the inner ring, the yellow one. We're just going to do the top row, of course, because we don't want to do the bottom one, because then we're building outside. So just do the top row of yellow and blue, and we're not going to be filling in the V portion of the yellow. We're going to get to that in just a second here as we're working our way to the back end of the saucer. I know this can definitely get a little bit confusing here and there. You can see that block right there, that was the end of the circle. After that, it was going at a straightaway angle. That's what I'm talking about. You don't want to do any of the blue going back at that angle, because we're not going to be putting the corridors in that spot. Yeah, no, this can definitely be a little bit confusing at times, but trust me, stick with me through this tutorial and we'll get through it together. But I've learned enough from doing these ships, best just to take your time and do one thing at a time, which is exactly what we're doing, and doing it in a certain order. So now we've got our wireframe and a lot of our hull built. Now we're starting out the beginnings of our interior. And the number one thing that you can start off with that is your hallways, because your hallways are going to help to dictate the size of your rooms and placement and everything. Um, it's a great way to build out the wireframing of your interior. And if you don't build your ships that way, I would highly recommend it. And if you don't think it'll work, just try it out for one build. I guarantee you your ship will come out 50 times better than just trying to build corridors around pre-existing rooms, for example. We're definitely rocking and rolling here. I don't think that we're going to finish on the corridors today, but we're going to get pretty far. I know that we're at least going to have the walls put up on almost all of them. Not a super long video today, like I said, only about 24 minutes, but long enough to still get some stuff done. Perfect. So now we're hopping into the next part of the stream. And you can see I'm going back to the ass end of the ship. This is the section where the shuttle bay is going to be. Now, I haven't decided if there's going to be a hallway going across through here, but I'm putting the blue line there just in case, to keep my options open, in case I want to have a hallway running right behind the shuttle bay. But I have a sneaking suspicion, just by like the area that I saw the work with, that I'm going to have to actually cut it off right there just to make the shuttle bay big enough. But for now, we're going to do the same thing on both sides, just to say that I did. And that's something that you want to do too, because I mean, especially if you make a change on one side and both sides are supposed to look the same, you want to make sure that you do that, because later on, that can totally mess you up on your build. We're not looking too bad here. We're going to get our cyan blocks now, and we're just going to go along with a cut. You're going to do this on both sides, going all the way around. We're just going to bang this out real quick. Perfect. So now we have the right back end done. So now we're going to get the front side done, and then we got to get the left side of the ship done. I've been having a couple of people comment here and there on some things that they would like to see me build. Have had a couple of suggestions of ships from Star Trek Lower Decks, and hey, keep those suggestions coming because I've been talking about it. That I really I want to build a couple of next gen ships. I mean, even after the Enterprise D. Um, I know that at one point I will go back to, the Shatner era and like just that timeline in general. But I've done so many ships in that era that I really want to like branch out a little bit. So I've been looking forward to hopping into the Cerritos for a while now, just because I know that essentially where it's going to take me. So if there's any other builds that you would like to see me do, definitely drop a comment below. You never know. Even if I don't do it right away, don't let that discourage you because I'm doing these tutorials indefinitely, and I'm gonna always need content to work on my channel. Surprisingly, I have not gotten burnt out doing this. It's been going pretty good. I do briefly want to hop back in what we got going on here because I did skip ahead a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Really, the only thing I went and did ahead of you just to save a little bit of time on recording. What we were doing before, adding both a row of cyan on the right side and the left side of our blue guideline here for our hallways. You're going to do this for both your inner ring and then your outer ring, anywhere where there is a blue line. So for your inner ring where it stops right here at the angle where the V is, the yellow V, obviously you're not going to do cyan going down that side there, but everything here and then going around the circle, you're going to do that. And then the same thing on the outer ring. I'm going to do that for the remainder of this tutorial. Anytime there's something that's so repetitive like that and we've done enough of it, I'm just going to skip ahead just to save a little bit of time on the recording because I think that will definitely help in the overall long run of the episodes. So this is a good thing to know. We can't delete any blocks moving forward on this row here, but we can add a row on the inner side. So I think that's just what we're going to do. And we're just going to do a row of blue concrete going all the way around along with the cut. And if you need a refresher, we're using concrete blocks. I definitely like the concrete blocks over the other ones. We're on the outer row if you needed a refresher on that also. But no, the concrete just looks so much cleaner. And I've even had people in the past, I've had a couple of people ask me what mod I'm using. And to be honest with you, this is just regular Minecraft. And this is one of the things, I talk about from time to time. It's all about what you build your ship out of and the blocks that you use. Get creative because you can come up with something really cool and people, you might fool one or two, get them to think that it's a mod. But I'm giving away my secrets here. I don't mind doing it. It's not even necessarily a secret because, I mean, everybody knows at this point as I talk about it all the time. But the concrete blocks are great. They really are. So now we're going to add our walls here. We're going to go back one. So we're not building on that blue line that we just added. We're just going one back. And on our wall, we're going 3 high, 1 white. The middle row is the dark gray, that's not flat black. And then 1 more row of white concrete. And now on the back side, I'm just going to go along with the cyan, same thing, going along with the cut. And I think we'll have enough room here. And even, I'm not going to lie, the design on the corridors, I'm not fully 100% set on. At least on the circular corridors. I want to make a slight tweak to them other than the base design that we come up with today because, I mean, it's true to the era and the show, but it's just, I don't know, it's too plain to me. I hate just having a square walkway. I know that's pretty much how it is on the next generation. I'd have to learn to pretty much just accept that because I've like I said, I've been so used to building, in the Shatner era ships, and the corridors, they have a certain look to them. They have a nice shape to them. They feel a little bit more like you're on a spaceship. Um, and yeah, the Enterprise D had a little bit of that, but not so much. I mean, most of the corridors were pretty much, square shaped. You can really start to envision it now, just how these corridors are going to look. And very subtle on the detailing, but just these details alone, I mean, it screams next gen. And at the same time, it's completely different than the corridors on the Discovery Enterprise, and then also, the Vengeance, and then my Enterprise A, and then the 2009 Enterprise. You definitely have to try to stay true to what you're building. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do here. And that's why I always say, um, get as many screenshots as you can, because those screenshots, that's where detail is going to come in. And the reason I have a gap in between there is that after I've gone all the way around, I'm just going to do dark gray concrete in the middle. And that dark gray looks nice. It almost looks black, but it's not like super dark black, It has like it has shade to it, is kind of what I'm getting at, as opposed to just being like midnight black. All right, so now we're going to do our main corridor hub. This is essentially just building a square. You want to do this at all your intersections, because you want to make something that not only feels like you're on a Starfleet ship, but it makes sense. You have your cross intersections where this is pretty much a three-way split going in three different directions, and then uh, one entryway point into a room, whatever this ends up being. And I know that it looks like it's going to be a tight squeeze here on the room, but I think I'll be able to make it work. We don't have a ton of room here, but I mean, that's okay. From what I can see on the Cerritos, it's not a super big ship. So we can use that to our advantage, especially when we get in the interior. I'll show you how to build some rooms that really feel like TNG. We'll try to do it in order that makes sense. I'm still doing a little bit of research too on what other rooms I want to add. And speaking of which, if there's any rooms you want to see me add, definitely now is the time to ask me, because once I get through it, unless there's like a dire change that I need to make, I'm probably not going to revisit it, the interior anyway, once it's been completed. All right, we're looking pretty good. We've got our next intersection made. I mean, the next one, still working on the existing one. And that's the other thing too. I mean, you want to always make sure that these different intersections are matching up. So the changes that I'm making here, I need to make sure that I either take a picture of it, or I remember what changes I'm making, so I can replicate this at every single intersection. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And you can continue your walls going all the way down until you get to your next intersection. So you're the same process that I've started right here. Just making sure that you follow the rules of going with the cut, just like I'm doing right now. As long as you follow that rule, you're not going to make a mistake. I'm trying to decide if I like that gray line up top, but I don't know. Wasn't really feeling it. So now we're on the right side of the ship. I'm going to rebuild this intersection now. So this way it matches the front one. Now I'm hopping over to the right side because I'm making the same change over here too, essentially building two sides at the same time. And not doing anything too crazy, that's 3 high, just editing the shape that we have, pre-existing shape, and just brought it back by 1 row. You can see here now I'm starting to add more of my walls. I'm making sure I'm not overlapping any of the color floor here. That's very important. You don't want to do that. And another thing that you're going to want to do also here in just a moment is adding a row of blue on the inside, just like we did on this outer corridor floor plan on the inner one. So you don't want to have another row of blue on the outside because then that won't match. But going along the cut on the inside, you want to repeat that same thing. So this way that both rooms, or excuse me, both hallways match. Yeah, no, I definitely have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to be making a slight change to my circle corridors. Is I don't know. They don't look bad, and I think I'm just being hard on myself. But I want to do something to them, make them look a little bit nicer. Because that was probably the one thing that I think was one of the best things that came out on the other enterprises that I've done is that the corridors always came out really nice. Um, and that's also due to the fact of spent about 10 years making different corridors and updating them over time. So that definitely has something to do with it. Not going to spend nearly as much time reworking the corridors here, but I think just one more once over on them making a tweak and they'll be ready. Because they look pretty good as is. Not like we need to rebuild them or anything. They need I feel like they're missing something to um, really bring them over the top and get them where they need to be. But this is the way to do it. Sometimes you got to throw something down, see how it looks, see what changes you need to make to it. And I love this tan block here. I mean, if it's like such a 90s color combination with that and the blue and cyan, but it screams next gen. I dig it. We're in pretty good shape here. Let's see, we shot by 23 minutes. We've got about a minute or so left in today's episode. If you're enjoying this episode, definitely let me know below in the comments section. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, definitely appreciate it. We still have just a little bit left to do here before we wrap this one up. Still have a million and one things left to do on this build before we're going to wrap this thing up, and then to move on to bigger things, the Enterprise D. I cannot wait for that build. I feel like I've been playing Minecraft this whole time to get me ready to build this ship. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope everybody on the channel, on both Twitch and YouTube, are looking forward to that also. It's going to be my most challenging build yet, hands down. It's going to be the biggest ship I've ever done also. So proportions, keeping the ship in proportions is going to be a challenge. Um, but I think I'll be up for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I've had a blast so far building the CERRITOS. They're not the same ship. They're not even the same class ship, but they have similar traits enough on them that I feel more confident now that I'll be able to build the Enterprise D in a pretty realistic fashion, as much as you possibly can on Minecraft. But I think that's going to wrap us up today. We've gotten a little bit done. Have not completed our corridors, but we've made a pretty consistent dent in them when you consider the fact that we're building two of them at the same time, essentially, even though we haven't gotten around to adding the walls on the inside. But it's literally going to be the same process as the outside, like we've been doing. So you're more than welcome to go ahead and fill in your inner circle corridor walls. It's the same process that we did on the outside. You see, I still have a couple rows here on the outer that I haven't done. Um, I know that I'm not going to do that live since I've already done a good portion of that. I might, I don't remember if I recorded doing the inner one, but I'm pretty sure that I did. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there tomorrow. We still have a lot to do, a ton to do. And if you have any questions, for whatever reason, if I wasn't getting specific enough in this tutorial or you're lost, you're not sure, drop a comment below. I'll try to see what I can do to help you out. I'm usually pretty responsive in the comments section. Also, what ships do you want to see me do? You never know. Drop a comment below. If I get enough people asking for it, and if it's something that I'm down to do, you never know. I might just do it. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me. I hope everybody has a happy and safe week and you joined today's episode. And if you did, don't forget you can always catch my new streams on Twitch Sundays through Thursdays, typically between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Zero Elite. And if you're on Twitch, please also be sure to follow me on youtube.com/C/Zero Elite. I've got my new Starship Evo videos dropping Mondays at 10 a.m. And then my Minecraft videos dropping Tuesdays through Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Anyway, I just want to thank you all again, and I'll catch you all in the next video.